Hello everybody! Welcome, welcome, welcome to the stream. Let's do a tweet really quick. Dogger? No, DOOGER. There we go. Do I need to push this? Is that a good volume level? I'm using the video game study lounge like live thing on YouTube. So they have the same, basically all of the same songs that we always use. A tad lower, okay. But just constantly playing on YouTube. Is that better? That seems too low to me. Oh gosh, we're grainy again. I'm gonna ignore it, it's fine. Too much tad? Shoot. It's really hard on YouTube to like have a lot of control over how loud things are. How's that? Okay, great. Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. Welcome to Sunday afternoon DOOGER. That's okay. Sure, that's pretty good. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm gonna leave the lid off for a minute here. SMD became yeah, it's like my dick became sad. Wasn't it always? What's up everybody? I got peed on by a chicken. We can start there. I got peed on by a chicken yesterday. I freaked Bergie out somehow, I guess. And she peed all over my trousers and all over the floor next to the dining table. And I was like, well, now I know. Now I know what that's like, I guess. Do chickens pee a lot? She certainly did. She certainly did. It was a big pee. Yeah. And the construction was back this morning, but only for like an hour. And I tried to go out there and get Bergie to do her foot, and I think she was too freaked out by the noise, so she like wouldn't come to me. So I'm gonna have to try to do it later. I should specify, she came over, but it was like to try and leave the run. She was like, oh my God, yes, let me out of the run. And I was like, I would love to, but under the context of washing and cleaning and taking care of your foot. And she was like, oh no, never mind. No, no, no. No, no, thank you. No, thanks. Yeah, I'm doing good. It's a Sunday. Can't complain. I imagine it smells. Is it really bad? It does smell. It's not too bad. I mean, do you guys really want to talk about chicken pee? Are you on a bread making trip? I mean, I make white bread at home. I know I brought it up. I'm just saying, like, do you want to know what it smells and looks like? Because that's where you guys are taking it. Yes, it smells. And at first it just looks like water, and then it starts to turn another color, which is interesting. It's basically like a rapid version of somebody peeing and the pee slowly getting more and more orange. So there you go. Yeah, I have a bread maker that my mom got me, and so occasionally I make white bread. And well, the bread flour that I have currently is like a grainy. It's like a 5-grain white, not white, but just like bread flour that Sam found, and there wasn't really any other options at the time, so I've been slowly making my way through that. But whenever I bring out the book, I have like a bread maker book for specifically for bread making machines. Another thing that my mom got me for my birthday. And there's this specific like tear apart bread that Clark always sees on the cover, and she's always like, what is that? Mommy, let's make that. But the book on the inside, it doesn't have any pictures. So I was always like, I don't know which bread that's supposed to be. Alex thinks that he found it inside of the book. But a bunch of people were suggesting all kinds of different like tear apart breads like that. So now I feel like I need to go on a journey and just make a bunch of different tear apart breads. Oh, interesting. No, ours does all of it really well, actually. I kept being told that bread makers, like, were very convenient but tended to make really dense bread. We haven't found that to be the case, and I don't know if it's because it's a newer bread maker, but it makes, like, really good, just normal-ass white bread, if that's what you want, so... But yeah, Clark ate the last slice of bread from some bread that we bought at the store, and I was like, I guess that's my sign. Time to make some bread. So Clarky helped me make bread. But yeah. Yeah, yesterday was actually a pretty busy day, aside from like the getting peed on bit. Like that was also very busy, but Clarky had ballet, and I swear to God, I have like the most disruptive child. But in like a really hilarious way. So like a lot of, I think with sports, any kind of sports, and I'm including dance because dance is a sport, fuck you. Any sort of sports with like toddlers, there's like this element of, we need most of this to be like imagination and play, right? Like we want to teach them through things that they already enjoy. So ballet is a lot of like, let's play pretend, and we'll, you know, use like some of the imagery of playing pretend to teach them different ballet stuff. So for the most part, you know, she's been going for quite a few weeks. For the most part, all that these kids know is like first position, like parallel position, first position, how to do a demi-plie, how to curtsy, and how to run around on their tiptoes. And that's it. That's about it, right? And it's adorable. And they do lots of like, they have lots of little games that they do that the kids love. But one of them was a demi-plie. It's when, oh, Jesus, hold on. So when you're in first position in ballet, right, with your feeties like this, a demi-plie is when you just go down a little bit. Plie, plie. So the kids know how to do that. And the big things that they work on is like keeping your back straight and keeping your toes pointed and all of those sorts of like basics things. Anyways, so one of the the games that they play that always goes completely off the rails entirely because of my child is, and none of you will find this like shocking that this is how our kid is. Based on, if you watch Sam and I, this will not surprise you. So one of the things that they do is, you know, when in like stretching and exercises, sometimes they'll have you like lay flat on your back and then like do your feet as though you're on a bicycle. You like do this but with your legs. So in this ballet class, they do that, but they try to tell the kids to point their toes, and they're all on a bicycle, and they tell them to like imagine where they're going on the bicycle. So all the kids sit up and they're going one at a time, and they're talking to each kid and saying, "Where did you go on your bicycle?" The park. "Where did you go on your bicycle?" To my nanny's house. "Where did you go on the bicycle?" So they get to my kid yesterday, and she goes, "Someone stole my bike." And the teacher's like, "I'm sorry?" And she's like, "I went to the park, and then I was playing with my nanny, and River was there too. And then we went to get our bikes, but my bike was stolen, and we had to walk home." And the teacher was like, "Oh my God, you concocted an entire story." She looked at me and she was like, we're getting a whole story." I was like, "I know. This is my life. Welcome." It was so funny. I was like, yep. I know, it was hilarious. She will take any opportunity to talk. Any opportunity. Is the story true? No. Clark has, well, number one, Clark isn't big enough to ride most bikes. So I doubt that she somehow got a bike and then got it stolen. Yeah, it's great. I love it. But anyways, yeah, so she's in ballet. She's enjoying herself. We had a conversation because there's a kid in her class that has one hand. So her other arm stops right here. And I kept seeing Clark looking at it. So when we got in the car, we had a conversation about it that was basically along the lines of, you know, some people only have one arm, some people only have one leg, you know? And yeah, by the end of it, I think she was just kind of like, yeah, everybody's got different bodies. And I was like, exactly. The mean streets of the playground aren't anything to mess with. Oh, goodness. Yeah, and then our little niece came over, and the last time that our niece came over, they like played for, I want to say like half an hour, and then the rest of it was just like a lot of arguing and like not liking each other and all kinds of stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I really hope that this playdate goes better. And so she came over, and I was so ready for it to just go off the rails, and it never did. It never did. They had like long periods of time where they were playing by themselves. So like our niece like went to the dollhouse and was playing, and Clark was like, I'm gonna do some coloring. And I was like, okay, do you want to play with River? And she was like, no. And I was like, River, do you want somebody to play with? And she was like, no. I was like, okay, wonderful. You both just want to do your own thing for a minute. That's very mature. That's great. So they're just like playing by themselves, and then eventually they were playing together again. And like, there was one point where Clark was like, oh, we need the stool. I'm going to go get it. But I knew that the stool was upstairs, and I was so worried. I was like, I'm going to follow them. And Sam made me not follow them. Because they started to go upstairs to get this stool. And I was like, they're going to try to come downstairs with that stool. And they're going to hurt themselves. And he was like, honey, you got to just, like, trust that, like, you have been doing so much to make sure that Clark knows how to go up and down the stairs safely and knows how to carry things up and down the stairs safely. Like, give her the opportunity to do it on her own, right? We'll hear if something goes wrong. She'll be fine. And she was totally fine. I was like, okay. So Clark was very tired by the end of the day because of all of the excitement. But here's the thing. She fell asleep early. She fell asleep snuggling with Sam at like 6 o'clock. And I was like, it's a couple hours early, but she's had a big day. She did not want to wake up. So we were like, okay, I guess we'll just put her in bed. And I was like, it's kind of nice. I get a little bit of time to just like crack knuckles, chill for a little bit before misdemeanor. Spinifred, welcome to the cat gang. Thank you very much. And all I could think to, and I probably jinxed myself, but all that I could think to myself the whole time was, I really hope that she doesn't wake up during misdemeanor. Because this is like the second half of a big fight with my first IO character, right? So the whole time that we were on misdemeanor, the whole time leading up to misdemeanor, I was like, she went to bed really early. I really hope that she just sleeps. I really hope she just sleeps. And spoiler, she woke up literally right as the fight was, like right at the moment when RP would have started, right? And I was like, no! So I had to be like, hey, bad timing, guys, but I gotta walk away for a minute here. And shout out to Sam, because I went to Sam and I was like, honey, we just finished this really important fight with Wazy. I have to be Wazy and A-list now. Sorry, no spoilers. I have to be Wazy and A-list right now in RP. Can you please just like hang out with Clarky for a minute? And he was like, sure. And he literally stayed with her for like 20 minutes while I was finishing up misdemeanor. So, bless Sam. It was on purpose. She even came back in right at the end of the show and just sat on my lap. I know. Thanks. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was cute. I'm glad. Speaking of, I think I hear her stomping around. Keikaku means plan. I'm guessing the doorknob hasn't been installed. Were you here when I was talking about that? The knobs that I bought don't fit in the holes that already exist in these doors, and I don't have the tools that I need to like make new holes. It's very cool. So we're still doing this shit. Just not fun for me. I'm trying. I swear I'm trying. Ain't that the life? Seriously. It's like just ever so slightly off. Honey, you have to knock. Yes? What's up? Do you have trousers on? One sec. Ugh. Are you running away to put on trousers? Okay. felt it on the wind. Hello! My cute, fully clothed child. What are you doing? Are you a flamingo? Sometimes mummies do this? Oh, like a mummy like this? Is that what you're trying to do? That's pretty cute. This. Like Cleo on Super Monsters. Cleo does that. It's very good. Do you want to hop up, say hi for a sec? Before you go back to Daddy. Ugh. Hello.
Can you say hi, Fat?
Hi, chat. Can you say hi, chat?
No.
No. That's okay. You don't have to.
Can I wear your headphones?
My headphones?
Yeah.
Sure. Let me turn this on. Lift your head.
There.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
No, we don't touch the keyboard.
Mommy, I am like you.
You're like me.
Yeah.
Yep, you look just like me.
Sometimes you go like this.
I do.
Why are you copying me?
Because you said that you look like me, so this way we can really see it.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can.
My arm's going this way. It's not going that way.
That's true.
It does the same thing as I do.
It does. What the picture does.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, because it's you, honey.
Mommy, watch what I can do.
Okay, I'm watching. It's good. We don't touch the keyboard.
Red.
Hey. Hey.
Yellow. Green.
Okay. Let's get you back to Daddy, okay?
And the keyboard is a butt.
The keyboard's a butt? I don't think so.
Look, and the keyboard's a million butt.
Oh, it's a butt, chat. FYI. Okay. I started an ad break because I thought that was going to take longer, but once we got to the door, she was like, "Mommy, I'm fine by myself," and just left and shut my door. And I was like, "Okay, bye." So, I'll just sit here and not do anything fun for 2 minutes. This? Yeah, I love this hoodie. It's become like my painting hoodie. There's not much paint on it yet, but I feel like it's really gonna add to like the whole vibe of the sweater. haven't watched Arcane, but Sam watched, there's 3 episodes out right now, right? Sam watched all 3 and said that it's like one of the best shows he's watched in a while. So that's cool. Yeah, apparently it's great. So I'm excited to watch it. Bye, Simeon Wizard. Have a good day. Yeah, I don't play LOL either, which is why I had no interest, but apparently it's great. It's a League of Legends show. And they are dropping 3 episodes per week for a certain amount of time. No, I have not seen Dune. Yeah, my kid is really into calling things butts right now. So we've been having lots of conversations that are like, remember that you need to be careful about calling people butts. Because as funny as you might think that is, it might hurt somebody's feelings. So, on Friday, I was doing the like, what was your favorite part of the day? What was your least favorite part of the day? And then another one that we've started asking at the end of the day is, what's something that you did today that was really kind? And we got to that question, like, what's something that you did that was really kind or really nice? And she was like, I didn't call anyone a butt. And I was like, well done, honey. That was very kind of you. All right, great. Crushed it, I guess. You know, small steps. She's really into whispering things in people's ears right now. Also, Sam completely fell for it, and she kept calling him a butt, and he was like, no, you're a butt. And then they were just calling each other butts back and forth, and I had to, like, pretend that I was also chastising Sam. So I was like, remember, Clarky and Daddy, that we don't call people names because it might hurt their feelings. And Clarky was like, I'm sorry I called you a butt, Daddy. And Sam was like, I'm sorry I called you a butt, Clarky. That wasn't very nice of me. Yeah, sometimes adults also need that talk. It's true. For my final, like, is this wholesome or not, story about Clark for the day, she's been trying to figure out how to tell jokes, like jokes that are started with a question. So, she tried to tell a joke the other day, and she was like, why did the stinky sock go into bed? And I was like, I don't know, why? And she was like, Mommy, it's just a joke. And I was like, oh no. One of the things I didn't expect about childhood and parenthood is having to explain how jokes that start with a question start. Like how you're supposed to resolve that. So I was like, okay, honey, if your joke starts with a question, the way that you, honey, you have to knock, please. Yes, Clarky, would you like to come in? Hi, what's up?
I want to say hi.
Okay, you can say hi, chat, but then you gotta, honey, you can say hi, chat, but then you have to go back with Daddy, okay? Okay. There you go, it's right there. The microphone.
Hello, sir. All the bubbles are popping.
All the bubbles are popping on the phone. Honey, don't hit it. Remember, that's how they hear.
I'm on your hair.
I know you are. But we're going back with Daddy, aren't we? Okay. I hate this. I hate this. I saw her go for the mic and I knew it was coming. Yeah, sorry for anybody, RIP headphone users, etc. She didn't tell us a joke. That's true. The joke was so strong, my internet died. Dude. But yeah, so to like really quickly round off this story. So I tried to explain to her how jokes that start with questions are supposed to work. And today she came to me and she was like, "Mommy, I have a joke to tell you." And I was like, "Okay." And she said, "Why did the stinky bugs go to the chicken?" And I was like, "I don't know. Why?" And she said, "'Cause they wanted to have a butt party." And I was like, nice. You know what? You got the format down, kid. That's it. Now we just gotta work on the content, but you nailed it. The structure was there. That's the important bit, you know. So silly. Okay, now that more of you are here, FYI, for anybody who isn't on our Discord a lot or has turned off notifications for our Discord, I am going to be taking a leaf from Ammunition's book and doing a bunch of holiday cards, actual physical holiday cards that I'm going to mail out to subs. So if you are on our Discord, the Cat Gang only channels, one of them is called Holiday Cards. Go in there and there's a link where you can put in your information and potentially get a holiday card. If it lets you put your info in and submit it, then you're in. You're good. I'll be doing 500 of them. It should be fine. But we're about halfway full right now, so there's plenty of space. If you're interested in that and you feel comfortable giving us your info, then please do. Enjoy that. Well, I've done 100 before, and I've done 200, like signings. I've done 100, like signed 100 things. I've signed 200 things, and honestly, it's not that bad. So I think the real time-consuming part is going to be like addresses. But Anne was like, just get an address printer. If this is a thing that you want to like start doing, just get an address printer. It will save your life. I was like, okay. You don't have to lick stamps anymore. They're stickers now. Buy a stamp that's your signature. Buy a stamp that's my signature? I feel like that would... Why even bother doing them myself then? You can lick them if you want to, I guess. But yeah, wanted to make sure that I mentioned that during stream because I know we've got a bunch of subs that don't use the Discord, so yeah. I'm gonna hold on one sec. Just asking a question really fast. Gonna try signing up now. Yeah, like I said, if it lets you put in the info and submit it, then you're good. Also, the card is being designed and drawn by our lovely Lamia, who's done a bunch of art in the community and for like the D&D stuff that I've been in. And I think I saw it in chat earlier, so it's gonna be very cute. Yeah, Lamia Arcane in chat. I thought you were gonna say Clarky was designing it. I mean, if Clarky was designing it, I know exactly what it would look like, and it would be horrifying. She's really into drawing people right now, but as you can imagine, based on the sort of stuff I've talked about recently and the pictures I've put on Twitter, they're always people with either one eye or 10 eyes. They're kind of like weird eldritch Pac-Men is really what my kid has been drawing lately. How long has Ammunition been doing Christmas card events? I know that we've gotten one because she uses the same design for sending cards to like her friends and family and stuff, and we've gotten a card by filling out her friends and family form for 2 years, I think. So it will, yeah, it'll also for me wind up being more than 500 cards because I was like, I mean, I should just use this card for everybody, right? So it'll also be any of my friends and family that are interested in having one. Oh. Fix the integration with Discord. Oh. Oh, I see. Oops. Sorry, I'm getting the things sorted. Oh. Oh, I don't know how to do that, I don't think. Wait. We're trying to fix the Twitch integration. Oh, here we go. Alex, I don't understand what the issue is. I literally can't figure out what you're trying to tell me. I'm sorry. Because when I go, I don't see what you're trying to tell me to see. Oh, I think I figured it out. But I'm connected though. I just looked at my own stuff. Oh my god. Okay, see if it's fixed. Sorry, chat. We're trying to make it so that the people who are like just coming into Discord are sorted. Anything fixed now? Question mark? Okay. Okay, great. Lord. No, we just like directed a bunch of people to the Discord that haven't been on the Discord before, I don't think, so. Yay, I'm so glad. Okay, anyways. Is there any way we can also send you holiday cards? We've had a lot of trouble setting up a P.O. box. For whatever reason. So we don't have any way for people to send us stuff currently, no. Yay, I'm so glad. I'm not gonna go into like why, because it has to do with like where we live, but yeah. And now we're looking at houses, so I'm kind of like probably just wait until we are in a place more permanently. Yeah, so the place that we went to see again was super awesome. And I'm glad that we're going to go see it again, because at first I was like, why would we want a second viewing? What's the point of that? But now I'm realizing that the point of it is that when you first go, you might be like, oh my God, this is perfect. And then after a couple of days, you start to go, I think maybe I was dazzled by like one or two things. And if I'm being realistic with myself, there are still X, Y, and Z issues, you know? So I've made like a list for myself of like questions that I want to ask and like kind of a pros and cons list and stuff. And I've continued to look at other places and try to set up other viewings because, because when we were there, I was like, this is so cool. And then about a day went by and I was like, but if these are all of the things that we need it to do for us and we're going to be paying this much money for it, I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it to just have a room that would be really cool to play D&D in, but not have it actually suit all of our like living day-to-day needs, you know? So we'll see. We're gonna go back. We're also bringing my mother-in-law because she, had her own business buying and selling houses for a while and still manages a bunch of properties. So she has like a really good idea of the sort of stuff to ask and what to look for. But a D&D room, I know. So anybody who wasn't here when I was talking about this before, we went to see a house and like a decent part of the house is a really old building and a lot of the really like interesting looking wood is old ship wood that was used to build the house or the building or whatever. And it looks amazing. It's like the moodiest room. It's so cool. You walk in there and it's like really high ceilings and all this gorgeous wood and old brickwork and stuff. And we were just like, holy fuck, this room is so cool, right? And like a decent amount of the house has that vibe in one way or another. But there are lots of drawbacks. A major one being that Sam doesn't comfortably fit through all of the doorways. And Sam kept being like, don't worry about that. Don't worry about me. And I was like, I'm going to. I will worry about that because you are my husband and I want you to be able to walk through doors, you know? So yeah, there's a decent amount of things that I'm like, I think it'll be good for us to see it again, but I think that we can get everything that we need for less money than this house. And if you buy this house, you're paying for the vibe, which again is a fucking stellar vibe, but does not replace the the vibe only takes you so far, right? How long does the vibe last? According to the owner was like, you'd think that this room would get old. It doesn't. And honestly, I believe that. He was like, every time you walk into this room, it's a mood room. It feels amazing walking in here. And I was like, yeah, I'm sure that's true. But my husband doesn't fit through the doors. You know? So, yeah. So we're gonna see it again. But I found 2 other places, one of which is like, isn't allowing viewings for a while, so we have some time, and another one that's actually much closer to his family. So and both of them I think offer like literally everything that we need, but you know, not a mood room, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm just gonna look at everything and make sure that we get what's right for us, because no point in spending a shitload of money on something and then being like, well, now what? Thank you so much for knocking. What's up, honey? Oh no, hold on just a second. She found a dead spider. We have to go give it a burial. I'll be right back.
Good.
Hello. I misjudged the amount of time I would be gone again. It's a very tiny spider. She found a very tiny spider, and she said that it's because the Spider King said that the spider wasn't allowed to live, which is a bit dark. She was like, why did it die? I was like, I don't know, honey. It could have died for lots of reasons. And she was like, it's because the Spider King said that it wasn't allowed to live, which, yeah, sounds like an execution to me. Like, I don't know who the Spider King is, but he's terrifying. How was the eulogy? It was very special. I went burr, 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 and she tossed it into her bug house, which is a house where she puts all of the dead bugs that she finds. Don't worry about it. And then we talked about how it probably died, the Spider King. And, and that was that. She just really likes bugs. So she gets really sad when she finds a dead bug in the house. It's potentially the opposite of a serial killer. She, like, really empathizes with dead bugs. Somebody was like, that sounds like serial killer behavior. And I was like, I feel like it's the opposite. She, like, empathizes too much with stuff. Yeah, people are always like, a little entomologist in the making. Did I bury the spider? We put it in a, she has this little wood house that she started putting, like, there's like dead spiders, dead moths, like any dead insect or bug that she finds in the house, she puts inside of this little house. And there's something like kind of sweet about it. It sits on her windowsill and it's like a weird bug crypt. And she just, anytime she finds one, she opens it up and she puts them in there and she closes it. And then she says, "Good night." There's something oddly sweet about it. Yeah, either an entomologist or a bug-based necromancer of some kind. I don't know which, but I'm excited to find out. It's disturbing and cute until they rot. I mean, bugs don't really, like, you know, they're not that big. I'm not worried about, like, them smelling like anything as they decay. They'll just turn into a weird bug powder. Seen any of the isopods in a bit in our terrarium. The cats haven't tried to get into the box. Well, the box is about this big, so no, they have not tried to get into the box. They also have no interest in dead things. That's why you have to rehydrate them to pin them. There you go. How are the cats? They're good. Watson was actually in here, but she wanted to leave. Yeah, they're all right. The only reason any of us draw breath is by the grace of the Spider King. Here's what I want to know. Is this some labyrinth shit? Where, like, there's all of these spiders, but the Spider King, for some reason, is, like, a hot dude. Just like a human. Even as a kid, I was like, why is the Goblin King David Bowie not in any goblin attire whatsoever? So actually, this brings up a good point. I need to float this by you guys. So I was telling you that I wanted to do some kind of like a swarm druid sort of character that is like really sweet. So do like the sweet creepy angle based on Shino from Naruto. So Shino in Naruto is part of a ninja clan that keep bugs in their bodies. So their body is basically a hive, and they provide the bugs a home in their body, and in return they can use the bugs to do things. So I want to make that as a druid in D&D, and have it just be like a really sweet, like totally normal character who, when they fight, is horrifying. Is that kind of an idea? It destroys it. It really destroys that, doesn't it? If this character has a lot of eyeballs. I keep going back and forth on this because my kid is drawing like so many eyeballs on things. And I was like, Do I want it to be like they really just seem like a totally normal person? Or is this like a really sweet normal person but with a lot of eyeballs? Or is this a Hiei type thing where you're like, it's a normal person with 2 normal eyeballs, but they have some sort of headgear, and when they take it off, there's a bunch of eyeballs on the forehead? What's the best option here? I don't hate it. A special wild shape that adds eyeballs. Oh my god. The last option? Okay. Maybe like, is it like eyeball and then eyeball, 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 like slowly smaller and smaller eyeballs? I'll figure it out. A Sukuna deal where the eyes pop out of the skin. I kind of want them to always be there. Unless we're saying that the extra eyeballs are like the eyeballs representative of the insects in the body. Which I don't hate. So like these eyes are her eyes, but any eyes that pop up around the body are like the insects looking at something. That's fun. I like that too. Shino meets Sakuna. Yeah, I'm okay with that. You forgot to tag your stream, horror, sorry. I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna look it up. Compound pupils? What is that? Oh, interesting. Right. I know exactly what this is now. Anyways, sorry. I like all of this. English parent closed caption, but talks about spiders and creatures with too many eyes. Look, I'm just asking for help with a D&D character, okay? Shepherd druid. I don't really play druids. Circle of the Shepherd. Oh, it's from Xanathar's. That's probably why. I don't know a lot of Xanathar stuff. You call forth nature spirits and use them to influence the world. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look and figure out what works best for this. But she normally is not creepy. It's the idea that only when you realize that her body is a hive is it creepy. But if you just met this person at Starbucks, you'd be like, what a nice, sweet person. Aren't swarm keepers are rangers, right? Oh, there's a revision called Druid of the Swarm that like makes it Druid instead. Interesting. I thought from talking with friends, people generally thought that Swarm Keeper wasn't built very well, or that like it needed some adjustments. But it's out now, I guess, like for real. It's not UA anymore, so I assume it's been adjusted in good ways. What if you got Clark to design a character? That would be fun. You need to ask only for sugar and water when you go to a tavern. That's actually very good. I like that. It's cute. Do you have a game in mind for them? For this character, I'm just kind of developing ideas to potentially use in phase 3 of IO stuff, because those are the only games that I have like for sure. From talking with Brett, I'm definitely going to be in a game in phase 3. So I'm starting to try and like solidify like kind of like snippets of ideas into characters that I might actually want to play depending on what campaign I get put in. And I figure either way, it's fine, because then even if I put like too much thought into a character that I don't wind up playing, I have it ready to go for a different thing. No, I can't play another warlock. I can't do it. I don't know what it is. I love warlocks. I play them too often. I'm trying to play new stuff. So I've only ever played one druid in my life. I've never played a bard. I've never played a cleric. I think I'm gonna be playing a cleric in Marculum's game, so I'm excited about that. But I've never ever played a bard. So I want to do that eventually. And I don't really play druids and rangers ever, so I'm fine with either of those. Oh, that's a fun idea, silly Simon. Yeah, Mark does great cosplay. Thank you. No, I've never played a bard. Never. I don't know why. You could try a rogue that's a medical surgeon. I've also played a ton of rogues. I'm currently playing a rogue. So, yeah, I'm trying to play new stuff. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I also played a swashbuckler rogue. It was very fun. Which game are you playing a rogue? The game that is happening tonight. If you do ! Godforged. I play Fabia. She's before they added Harangon. We used a homebrewed rapid folk race called Lago. So she's a Lago. Arcane trickster rogue warlock. And it's fun. It's very fun. The amount of damage that rogues get away with is just disgusting. What about a swarm keeper? That's the plan for the character I was talking about before. If they can do it, also, it will forever, for my entire life, it will bother me so much that sneak attack damage has nothing to do with sneak. That there is no sneak element necessary to get sneak attack damage. I will hate that my whole life. I've always renamed it to Cunning Strike. Yeah, that works. No, I'm playing a sorcerer right now. Sorry, Yakmir. I love all of these suggestions. I'm also playing a sorcerer currently. What are you not playing? In the games I'm in currently, I'm the Arcane Trickster Rogue / Warlock, and then my other character is Storm Sorcerer Paladin. And then in the games that I have coming up, it's Mark has a homebrewed cleric that I'm going to be playing. And that character is based off of Plague Doctor from Darkest Dungeon, which I'm very excited about. And then this other character that I was just describing to you guys, which will either be some sort of druid, if I can flavor text-wise make it work, or a swarm keeper. But the bugs element is non-negotiable. That's the entire character, is that their body's filled with bugs. So if I can't get the bugs thing to work in druid, then it'll be a ranger. What is it about warlocks that's drawn you to them more than other classes? I just like it's RP. It's entirely RP elements. I think that the idea of like having a pre-existing relationship with like a god tier entity that gives you power for one reason or another, I've always found that so interesting, and I think there's so many different ways to go with that relationship and like why it exists. So I've played a bunch of them. I've played a lot of them. I just really like, even though they're dog shit in combat, sorry, they're dog shit in combat, but I really love them for RP. So thank you, Milope. You've described how I feel about monks. Unless you're Hexblade. Unless you're Hexblade. Yeah. But even then, I would say there's better options to be effective in, if what you want is to be effective in combat, you know. Yeah, if you can use invocations and stuff to like beef up your Eldritch Blast, that's great. But it's not, it's like playing an MMO where you're like, well, I don't have a rotation. I just spam the same ability until the thing is dead. Like that's how Warlocks feel for me. Which is why every time I've played a Warlock, I've taken a bunch of utility stuff because it's the only way that I feel like really useful, I guess. That's how White Mage feels. Yeah, I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah, White Mage has like very limited rotations. Am I attacking or am I healing? Have I waited long enough to get a free heal? Tight. Free heal. Heal, 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 heal. Attack, 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 attack. Free heal. Attack, 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 attack. Dot. Attack, 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 attack. Free heal. Attack, attack, attack. If you want to know what it's like to play a White Mage in Final Fantasy XIV. Eldritch Blast, and my turn is done. I don't think it also doesn't help that I don't remember being like in the last few years of my life being in a group that ever took short rests. Like, one of the benefits of a warlock, right, is supposed to be like, yes, they can only cast like 2 spells and then they exhausted, but they get it back with a short rest. And I'm like, that would be amazing if people ever did short rests. But like, that's fucking rare. No, there's an Endwalker delay? No, I missed that. Two weeks. Oh, man. It's not too bad. My group loves short rests. Yeah. I don't know why. I keep wondering if it's the difference between like people who do long dungeons and people who don't. I feel like short rests are more useful if you're in a situation where you're like, we are not going to get the opportunity to long rest, but we can like take a breather, you know? Yeah, that's fair. I guess if your DM is taking the time to be like, would you like to RP for a moment? AKA have a short rest. Bye, Zolidare. Have a good day. We did a short rest during a dungeon once, and the bad guy escaped while we rested. Oh, that's fucked up. Thank you, Oatmeal. I'll check it out. I'm hoping the 5.5e edition that they're releasing in 2024 fixes some of the short rest classes. That has to be a priority, right? Like, figuring out how to take the main elements of how the game is played and say which things aren't working. And I feel like short rests in general are easy to overlook. Great RP yesterday. Thank you. In Misdemeanor, thank you very much. I was talking with Joe after because we were like, oh man, if only we had a little bit more time. Sorry, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but my kid woke up right at the end of the fight in Misdemeanor. And there was like a bunch of RP stuff to do. And I was telling Chat earlier, my sweet husband, Sam, I was like, Sam, we just finished the Wazy fight. Like, can you please just hang out with Clarky while I'm finishing this? And he was with her for like 20 minutes. And I was telling Joe, like, it sucked because I really wanted to just like completely focus on the RP, but I could hear Clark like yelling for me and stuff throughout all of it. So I'm glad that you felt that way because it was really exciting for me to be able to do that RP stuff, but I was like slightly distracted, which is unfortunate. Oh, I'm so glad. There's an artist named Azio who drew Clarky's who drew the little puffball spider that Clarky made that has a bunch of eyeballs all over it. And so yeah, Fabulosity sent me a message being like, hey, did Clarky ever see it? And she did. And she loved it, and then was like, wait, my spider isn't eating candy. I was like, that's true. I think that was some artistic liberties that the spider is eating candy in this picture. what am I trying to say? like a DIY on like a cute bracelet. Clarky has all of these like sparkly beads laying around from, there was a thing that we bought that I didn't realize came with like a huge bag of beads, but it did. And Clark wants to do something with them, and I haven't, you know, the obvious answer is like make a necklace, right? Throw them on a piece of string and call it good. But I was like, I think we can figure out something fun to do with these. And I found a DIY for like a macrame bracelet or necklace, whatever you wanted it to be. And I was trying so hard to do it. Clark was so excited. She was like, Mommy, are you making a bracelet? Mommy, can it be for me? Can I have the bracelet when you're done? I was like, yeah, it'll be for you, honey. But every time I tried to do it, she was like super snuggly this morning. So whenever I would like pick it up to work on it, she would immediately lay right here. And I was like, I'll do it later. So I haven't had an opportunity to really work on it yet. The moon is gone. It's right there. It's just different camera angle. My girlfriend plays a swarm keeper in my game and flavored it after Kronk's squirrel affinity from Emperor's New Groove. That's very cute. That's pretty cute. Yeah. The other character that I'm like slowly piecing together is like, because again, I don't play a lot of sweet characters, so I keep trying to think of like ways to make playing a really sweet character fun for me. Because I just gravitate toward playing assholes, and I don't know why. But anyways, a dumb cop. A dumb cop is my other idea. Basically, just like a really naive paladin who's just really nice to everybody and is kind of stupid. Like a himbo paladin, basically. So that's another idea that I'm like trying to piece together into something. Yeah, no, that was literally, I was like, I want to play like that really dumb guard that's outside of a town that's just like an NPC that nobody gives a shit about, but somehow he got involved in the campaign. I want to be that character. You're like, why is he here? Like, that would be so fun. Thank you so much. Thank you for the gifted subs. I appreciate it. Crumbling Biscuit. If you were gifted a sub, be sure to take the time to say thank you. It must be the wind. Yeah, that guy. What was that? Did you hear something? I don't know when I'll be able to catch you live again. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. Paladins aren't cops, okay? What class would you make a cop? A ranger? I don't want to play a ranger though, especially if I'm going to be a swarm keeper. Paladins 100% read as cops to me, if I'm being honest. I think there's lots of classes you could say are cops, though. But paladins have big cop energy, and you can't tell me otherwise. I mean, you could, like, just a basic dumb guard could easily be a fighter. but I've played a lot of fighters, so. My Book of Holy Light says you can't park here between 9 and 5. Oh my god. That's really funny. Fuck. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Like, I think that there's a lot of just, you know, like, wholesome tropes you could throw in on that character. Like, grew up on a farm, has been in the same town his whole life, you know, got a job as a guard, and through a series of fucking hijinks, winds up with a group and is not mentally prepared for it at all. That sounds like an Octo character. Octo really likes playing strong dum-dums. He loves that. He's like, yeah, sure, my character's min-maxed, but they're also an idiot. I'm like, how? What do you mean? A self-debuff. I mean, again, after talking with Octo, I totally get it. Octo's vibe for D&D is I'm going to make a character that is as effective in combat as possible, and then I can RP them however I want. Doesn't matter what the stats say. I don't care what the stats say. When it comes to RP, I'm gonna do whatever I want. So I'm useful in combat. And in RP, I'm having fun, and then it's great. My sister-in-law said that she's not sure that she wants to play the like hot brooding vampire bard anymore. And now part of me is like, but that's such a good character. Maybe I want to play that. She wanted to play a character that was basically like, she wanted to play like a Dampier character essentially with like you know, the long black hair and like super sexy, but like doesn't really talk very much, and all of his inspiration is just like just looking at people, and that's it. And they're like, oh my god. Which I find so funny. Oh my god, we have a whole Dampier group starting today. That sounds so fun. That sounds so fun. I saw a TikTok forever ago where somebody was like, I kept trying to figure out what setting I would use if all of my players wanted to be clerics, and then I realized fantasy Bible camp. And I think about that more often than I should. Because I find that so funny. I think it's even more funny if you've been to Bible camp before. It's cute, right? Yeah, I like that. Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, if this is like a classic, like, summer camp story, and all the clerics are at, like, Bible camp, right? Then across the lake is the other summer camp, and it's filled with, I don't know, warlocks or something. Bard camp, yes. Bard camp. Fantasy band camp. You went to symphony camp. Every summer I did a bunch of theater classes. It wasn't camp because I always went home at the end of the day. It was basically school, but just theater school. And it was very fun. Don't go to the bard camp. It's full of thespians. Amazing. I have DM'd, yeah. I'm trying to DM more. I've done a few things on stream, but they've all been small. I did 2 one-shots, and then I did a 4-part Hollow Knight inspired campaign. And each time I've DM'd, I've learned a lot. I've done a few things off stream as well. I've DM'd for Sam's family a couple of times, and I DM'd for my old group of friends in LA, which I'm trying to do again. Yeah. My big weakness as a DM is that I am not the sort of person that's really solid on, I'm not really solid on mechanics. Even when I've played a game forever, right? Like I've been playing D&D, and again, it's been different versions of D&D. Like my first version of D&D was 3.5. But I've been playing for, oh my god, since 2007, I think, is when I, like, actually got to play for the first time. It's a long time. And there's a bunch of stuff that I still don't fully understand, So, I'm not the best DM, and I'm never going to be the best DM because I don't remember a lot of, like, the nitty-gritty about numbers and shit. Like, combat is really stressful for me to try and do. But, I love telling a story. That's very fun, so. I loved 3.5 because it felt like there was so much you could do. And it's not that 5e feels like you can't do a lot of stuff. It was just, I don't know how to explain it. 3.5 felt so full, right? It felt like 3.5, your character sheet was just full of stuff that was really exciting. It was also really confusing, but, like, exciting. And then 4 came out, and there was so much less stuff that I hated it. And then once I learned how to play 5, it felt like an okay middle. And I enjoy 5 now, but 3.5 will always have like a special place in my heart. Could you run a story that has no combat? Sure, you could. Yeah. But if I was going to do that, I would probably just use a different system. You know, like, then why play D&D? There's lots of other TTRPG systems that are more geared toward just, like, telling a story. So. Yeah, a lot of people have said that when I've talked about how much I really liked 3.5. People are like, why don't you play Pathfinder? But Pathfinder is like such a number cruncher, isn't it? All I've ever heard about Pathfinder has made me go, ugh, I'm good. It's not any more math heavy than 3.5. Right, but like, if I was going to say there's something I don't miss about 3.5, it would be that. No, this earring. Oh my god. Pathfinder 1 was sometimes called Mathfinder. Oh my god. I like that though. Would I ever play Baldur's Gate 3 on stream? I don't have an interest in playing Baldur's Gate 3 on stream. Does that answer your question? Yeah, Boblai, I completely understand what you mean, yeah. Have you played the new update? Baldur's Gate? I don't play Baldur's Gate, so... Or do you mean like the new stuff for D&D? I haven't done any of the new stuff for D&D. I thought she did play it. I've played it, but I don't play it. Does that make sense? How you feeling for Godforge tonight? Good, actually. Yeah, I'm feeling all right about it. I had a convo with Joe. Again, to try and not spoil anything. I had a convo with Joe to figure out like what's going on with this next session, so... Have you played many other systems that you've enjoyed? Delta Green fan here. I've never heard of Delta Green. Underrated, investigative, milsim, cosmic horror setting. Oh my god. I've played a decent amount of Fate, and the Hollow Knight game that I ran was in Fate. I really like the Fate system. Played the mutant system a little bit. Done D&D. Done Made RPG. I'm trying to think what else. I've done a few different systems. But mostly D&D. If you stream a lot of TTRPG stuff, it's probably D&D. Yeah, I played Daikia, which was supposed to be the mutant system and isn't. It's just Krendor. Yeah, Made RPG. I've thought about running a Made RPG before because nobody does it anymore. Because it's weird. Because Made RPG is super weird. Yeah, it's the Krendor system, exactly. Krendor is such a pro, he has so much homebrew. Don't. No. Let's open this. We have a couple Valentines. Sprinkle the Lich King said, I just remembered it's my birthday today. I'm officially 30. Oh, happy birthday. I'm glad to be spending some of it with y'all. Sending everyone good vibes. And Astra says, hype for Hollow Knight hoodie. Yes, I've been opening that one for a couple of years now. Shout out to Fangamer merch. No other brand is worth more money to me. Yeah, they make good stuff. I'm unpausing raid later. If there's anybody that y'all would like to raid today, I'm going to start reading off the activity feed, and then I'm going to go hang out with my family before Godforged and everything. I also, again, I wasn't able to do Bergie's Foot. So I got to do Bergie's Foot. We've also got a bunch of subscriptions to do, so I'm going to do those as well. Mute yourself. Okay. For SP Wolf Tech. For... Oops. Let's see if this one works. Give that one back. For Embrace That Void. From Colby. Thank you, Colby. Not for me. Wonderful. To a rando. Great. Are Weeb there yet? Wonderful. Boom. Rando, rando, rando. For yourself, of course. Beep, beep, beep. 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 Ozfrog Girl, welcome back to the Cat Gang. Okay. Rando, 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 rando. Rando, rando, rando. 1, 2. Great. And now we're gifting some randos. Let's go. I'll do some extras. I'll do a couple extra because it took me a while to get these subs out. There we go. Pronounceable Boris, Am as the Cat Gangster, Kotsirtska, Nail Bear, Archeon of Winter, Amarian, and Lavender Breeze. Thank you very much for all of the rando subs with your points. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Anybody who just got a gifted sub. Mary's Milk Monsters, of course. Three days ago. Okay, hold on. I scrolled too far. Here we go. Gooding Splats. Thank you for the 45 months. Spinifred again. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Thank you very much. Rakeen Vortex, thank you for the 2. Brosif Brostar for the 61. Mizu Noise for the 46. Clarity at 3 a.m. for the 18. Jerry Reg for the 22. Ritsuka Kira for the 38. Raise the Dead for the 8. Dennis Merritt for the 52. Puff Maggie for the 17. Rafid for the 54. Oh Hello Mir for the 4. Dor Lugas for the 54. X Yuki for the 6. Crumbling Biscuit for all the gifted subs, thank you again. Cobra Clone, thank you for the 6. Nexus for the 69. GK Gamer Fan for the 50. Sandwich Man for the 57. And Zenflux just gifted subs as well. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Anybody who was gifted a sub, thank you so much, Zenflux. If you were gifted a sub by anybody other than me, please take the time to say thank you to them. It's very generous. Let's double check that Mary is live. It's always good to check. You just never know. I've raided so many people when they were actually offline. It's a nightmare. Yes, we're feeding goats. Let's go. Yeah. As a reminder, if you are a sub, you can sign up to get a holiday card from me. I will be gifting or sending out 500 physical holiday cards to subs. All you have to do is connect Twitch to Discord, join our Discord, and then there is a sub-only channel in there called Holiday Cards. And if you're able to fill out that form and submit it, then you're in, you're good. So if you're interested in that, if you would like a card, please go check that out and head on over to our Discord. Alrighty, boop. Sending you over to Mary's Milk Monsters, if that works. Why isn't that working? There we go. And I'll see you for Godforged if you want to come and watch Godforged. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow for our normal stream, which also starts at this time. And hey, finally, America had daylight savings, so we can stop all being confused about what time it is. Huzzah! It's real fun. I love that. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.